Man, it's a blessing to win. Thankful, for just to win. Last night, man, you're watching some of those games, and my good buddy Matt Driscoll pulled off a big road win at South Carolina, and after losing his best player to Tennessee, and so it's hard to win, right? And so we're still not at full strength, but it's a joy to have Max Jones back out there. And I think you had asked me, how's he going to handle being a role player? And I tell you, you hadn't seen him play yet. You don't know if he's going to be a role player or not. And good thing about having weapons is that it can be anybody's night. And tonight, Max was really good. So was David, I thought.
Thank you, Coach. Start with a question.
Yeah, and with that, just how good was David, and what kind of got into him tonight? I mean, he had one of his best games.
Yeah, I think he paid attention to the scouting report. We felt like we could impact them on the glass offensively, and man, he set the tone early when we were struggling. One of the things that we can't be a team that our defense is dictated by our offense, and right now, we're probably more, we get energy from seeing the ball go through the hole, and we have to correct that. But Dave's energy and effort allowed us to stay close enough that when we went on a run, we was able to take a lead. And so, I'm happy for him because he works really, really hard, and we have a ton of confidence in him. And so, very, very, very thankful.
And that run to close the end, you had Max and you had Brennon hitting those three-pointers. I think they hit about 12 at one point. But really, really kind of helped spark you guys. Talk about just that transformation toward the end of the first half.
Yeah, well, everybody saw Brennon make the shot and Max make the shot, but really, like Doug was 8-2 assist to turnover today, and I think every one of their shots were catch and shoot shots, and that's what we really work on. So our guards and their teammates was able to get them the ball, and so they can in a shooting pocket so they can get them off, and those guys can really shoot the ball.
What does it say about Coleman's versatility? He didn't maybe have as many points tonight, but he had 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Yeah,
Coleman is one of the few guys whose energy level is not impacted by scoring, right? Like I'm actually trying to force him to take more shots. I think I mentioned he was shooting like 57% from 3 at practice. He just doesn't take enough. He turns down too many that I feel I need him to take in. And so it's great to have a guy out there who his energy comes from getting his teammates shots or, making, little plays that other people don't see, whether, it's being in the middle of the press and making the pass that leads to the assist, or, setting a screen or not setting a screen because he knows that it'll confuse him by slipping out of it. And so his IQ really helps us as a team.
And just 9 turnovers tonight. How nice is it to see that number so low?
Ooh, I don't know when the last time we had single-digit turnovers, right? And so, no, our staff did a great job in recruiting. We brought in better ball handlers, decision makers, and, so it's great to not have to scheme passes, right? Like we can scheme shots.
On Monday, you mentioned how important, or I guess how beneficial a guy like Max is with his size in the lineup. Did you sort of see some of that versatility come when he was able to, be on the floor as a 6'4" guard?
Yeah, well, we see it in practice, just his impact and the impact in the rotation, right? So if Max is on the floor, he could be a big 2 for us, and now you have a 6'5" point guard in CJ, and you have Max at the 2, and you have Coleman at the 3, and whoever at the 4 and the 5, and you're really big, or you don't lose anything in rebounding. Max had 3 offensive rebounds for us, and when you move him to the 3, right, and now you can move Coleman or Chor to the 4, one of them at the 5, and now you have great spacing, and it's easy for the guard. So, Max's versatility and his skill level allows us to do a lot of things.
We saw Max put his body all over the place to try and get the ball, and he tried to save a couple of rebounds throughout the second half. How happy does that make you as a coach to see a guy sacrificing his body that much to try and make a play?
But it's really interesting that you worded it the way you did, because we made cards, asked every guy something that they would sacrifice for the team to have an impact on us, and Max put his body. And last night, every guy explained why, and Max was like, "Well, I've never been the guy who dove on the floor, did certain things." My body, I've always been the scorer, and now I'm willing to do those things to help our team win. And so it's really cool to see a young man say, "Hey, fellas, I'm gonna do this for you guys," and then go out and do it. Because a lot of people talk, but they don't follow through.
Late in the first half, it seemed like the offense was able to get going when you guys were able to go a little bit faster off of rebounds and sort of push the tempo a little bit. How important was that for the offense?
Against this team, yes, because we felt on film like we could get out and transition against them, because they press, right? Like, they make a bucket, they're thinking guards up, get ready to press and pressure. And so if we could get clean rebounds and throw a good outlet pass, we felt like we could get out in transition.
Jerome, it wasn't effortless tonight. I'm wondering what you kind of shared with your team when you were down in the early going.
They were playing harder than us. That's it. The New Orleans kids, they came in here to win, right? And they were playing with an effort, and then they saw the ball go in the hole, so then they had confidence too. And so we have to play harder than the other team to give ourselves a chance to win. It doesn't matter what name is on the front of the jersey. And and the guys responded.
Brennon had the third most minutes for you guys. Obviously, the scoring speaks for itself. How happy are you with everything else that he's doing defensively, running off screen? It's everything else that he does aside from shooting the ball.
Yeah, well, we're challenging him to not be the pick-on guy. Like where teams look and go, okay, that's the guy we can attack defensively, and he's embracing it. And this is a change for him, right? Like last year, I think when he played here, he played 6 minutes, right? Might have averaged about 10 minutes a game last year, maybe. And then in our first exhibition game, he played 20-something, but he did the same routine that he was doing at his other school before the game. That's why 5 minutes into the second half, he cramped up. So he has to learn a new rule. What do I need to do with my body? What do I need to do with all those things so that I can play 25, 30 minutes a game, and so he's learning that, and we're learning it. And now we're going to learn how do we handle watching film on a scout, and for watching film that we just played, go to practice and correct those, come back, watch a scout, and then prepare for the next team all in 36 hours. And so it's we're all learning things. But man, Brennon, he loves this place. Like that's something he just loves this place. Like this is Manhattan, Kansas. Is like the perfect place for him. Yeah, and you can see it in the way he is appreciative of things, and when you hear him talk about the place, and then how he interacts with people. So yeah, so thankful for him.
Coach, who talked you into letting the guys during the starting lineup have their own walkout songs?
Well, I actually think it's really cool in baseball, right? Like all those guys have their walkout song, so I thought that was really cool. And then Reem said, "Coach, the fellas would like a walkout song." I was like, "Well, that's great. I don't know why we didn't do this beforehand." So, yeah, I think it's really cool. I don't know which each guy's song is, so don't ask me that. But I mean, man, this thing is supposed to be fun, and I like every guy having his own personality, and the fact that they brought it to the table, that's exciting because they're thinking and they're talking and they're just, and they made us better. I think it makes us better. That's pretty cool. You caught that.
Max and Brennan said they're roommates. Do you influence that at all as far as like who guys together? Do you put your 3-point shooters together, or is that
No,
just
you know,
is that kind of
we
the-
might need to switch roommates and put them with some of the other guys, and maybe the other guys will catch the disease of making threes. No, you know, those guys, they pick. Coach Marco does the roommates and puts personalities together. Those guys worked out together all summer long, and you know, they're both, you know, very mature young men, right? Like in how they approach things, and so. And I think they both like to. Well, I know Brennon likes to fish, and I think he might have taught Max how to fish a little bit. So.
For a chore, was it just maybe too much time away from the team with his family matters to not play
Yeah,
tonight?
yeah. I mean, he got back today, shoot around. So, you know, sorry for his loss and you know what it went through, but you know, thankful that he's back, and we'll be all right going forward.
You mentioned yesterday that you felt during the exhibition the guys were maybe a little bit tight. Is that something that you saw in the beginning of the game, or did you sort of see them loosen up today?
No, it wasn't just the guys that was a little tight. It was the staff was tight. We was all like, you know, it just was, and I could, you know, felt I went back and watched the film, and I didn't smile one time during the game, you know, and they feed off of that, you know, and so early in the game we just missed shots, and we let them make shots, you know, and well, we didn't let them. They rose up and made some shots, right, and then we just had to get going, and so that it wasn't a tightness today.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys. Go Cats.